Mr. Houdini. Mr. Houdini himself. How you get your nickname, man?
The Drew League announcer, we called George the Chick Ernie the Ghetto, and George gave it to me when I was playing in the Drew League in the 90s and the early 2000s. It was from him.
All right. So you mentioned just you played in the Drew League. Can you just give me a little bit of your background, starting with your playing all the way through your coaching to where you are now?
Played at El Camino Junior College. Got a scholarship to St. Mary's in the Bay Area. Played in the WCC there for a couple years. Graduated with my degree in sports medicine, and then I started coaching in the early 90s or mid 90s, and started out at the JUCO level. Was a head coach at the junior college level for 7 years, and while I'm playing and coaching, I'm still coaching in the Drew, playing in the Drew, till I got too old to play. Maybe in the, when did you start? 2014, 13?
Started 2015.
14, 15, around that time when I stopped playing. Maybe a little bit before that, and then
because you won the championship 2014.
We won it in 2014. I think I was an MVP in the Drew in 2004, and maybe in the 2007 or 8, shortly after that, I started getting old. So it was
Started?
I'm old, man. And then I just started coaching full time. Was coaching, you guys know, my former junior college players, and we had a great run, man. We went to, I think, the semifinals for like 4 years, won a championship, and the Drew is home for me.
What was it that actually got you into coaching? How did you transition from being a player into a coach?
Just loving the game. I was never really that good. I mean, I was an underdog. I said I went to junior college, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship. But I just always loved it, and so I would watch it. And like I said, I'm old, so I would watch VHS games of, just studying point guards and trying to figure out how to be good. And so once my playing career was done, it was the next closest thing.
All right, so you coached at every level. You've coached pros in the Drew, coached JUCO, high school, St. Anthony. I played for you. Now you're at the Division I. What's been the biggest difference for you at this level?
Probably the resources. As a high school and a junior college coach, you pretty much, I don't want to say a one-man show because I had a lot of help, but there's not a lot of funding. I would have to reach out to people that I knew. You mentioned Kevin Cutler, and other guys who I've known who've been successful, whether it's NBA players or refs or whatever, trying to fundraise for the program. And so being able to do that to help kids and help the team for tournaments or gear or whatever it may be, the resources at high school and the junior college level are minimal. So a lot of times I would have to invest in my own program or fundraise to be able to get stuff done. At this level, there's more resources and more funding that makes it easier.
So with it being easier, how do you use the resources and the funding to your advantage and to better the team?
Well, I think you have, like, for example, at St. Anthony's, you were there and you were a financial aid student, and most of our guys were financial aid students. Here you can offer a kid a full scholarship, and his tuition is free, his education is covered and paid for. Junior college is not like that, and it's not in California. It's not in high school. The ones that I've been a part of, it's not like that. So, being able to offer a kid a free education, like you got one at Academy of Arts, that's a big deal. Obviously the levels and stuff are different, but being able to tell a kid and his family you can get a free education and walk away with your degree without having to pay a dime is a big deal.
Okay. So now, being here as a coach, you were head coach at St. Anthony, you've been head coaches at other places. Now you're an assistant coach. What do you feel like you're bringing to the team?
Just who I am. One of the things that we've talked about just is my energy and accountability. Just trying to mentor guys and just trying to be as involved with relationships and all that kind of stuff is really important. It's one of the things that I do best. You just said I've known you since how long?
2015.
So we're going on 6 years now. You only played for me 1 year.
Yeah.
So our relationship, and obviously Coach Barnes, who you developed a huge relationship with, I've known him since the early 2000s. So for me, man, the relationships are always bigger than the game.
That's good. That's good. Now, also with you being here, how have you, so far in your short term here, how have you impacted this program as a whole? not just on the court, but the short relationships that you've been able to build already, coaches, players, staff, everything within the school?
That's hard to say, because it's only been a short time, but, I try to spend time with the guys. We've done a couple Bible study sessions, gone out to eat a couple times. I'll just text them and just be like, hey, what's going on? We'll just communicate. Early on, we would sometimes get shots up, and just, anything, and just spend the time. It's, no matter what level you are, whether it's high school, college, or middle school, everybody appreciates your time. It's our most valuable asset. So being able to spend time with guys is the best way to make an impact.
Spending so much time with them, on and off the court, how have they responded to you being here?
It depends on the day. When we got to do figure eights and 17s and push-ups and slides, Ro and Joe was kind of mad at me today. J-Rob, and I love them dudes, but I always tell them if I'm not holding them accountable for drills or what they're doing or not doing, then I'm doing them a disservice. So thankfully, it's probably the biggest thing I'm grateful for is they've been responsive and they've been, welcoming to me trying to establish the relationships, but still provide accountability, if that makes sense.
It is. All right. So looking ahead for this year, getting ready to start your season, what do you guys feel like is going good for you? What does the year look like for you guys right now?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say because I'm new to the program. So if I was at St. Anthony, I could tell you, well, we're not as good as the 2014 team or the 2016 team, or, I knew what the competition is like. So for me, it's just a matter of still getting my feet wet. Obviously, I've been around Division I programs and I played Division I basketball, but, knowing what we're facing in terms of what we have. Like, we have a lot of new guys. We have probably 6 or 7 guys who haven't been here, and this is their first year, whether they're transfer guys or incoming freshmen or Division II transfers. We got a ton of new guys, so it'll depend on how much we gel.
And how do you get your guys to gel? How do you, as a coaching staff, get your team to mold as one and play as a unit?
We talk about it. Same thing we did with your team. We watch film every day. We talk about playing the right way. We do. I'm helping implement this program for PGMs called Professional Growth Mondays, and thankfully Coach Munson, wanted to implement it, and so we do stuff on Mondays where we might talk about, our background or our childhood or things that have impacted us or things that could impact our success outside of basketball, whether it's selfishness or, just learning our histories and things that are important to us off the court, and team bonding stuff. We're going to do a ropes course in a week or so, and just trying to spend time with each other and get to know each other off the court, and I think that will accelerate our success on it.
All right. What's some obstacles that your team has been facing on the court that you guys are trying to work out right now heading into the first game?
Well, I mentioned that we have so many new guys, so we have some of our guys who are learning the intricacies of the program, as am I. So I'll call Coach Munson or text him or just stop in his office. Hey, what does this mean, or why are we doing this, or when will we do that? And he's been receptive to that. So thankfully, the newness could potentially be a stumbling block. But I think that from what I'm told, this is, they're much more cohesive than most recent teams. Recent teams have been. So that's a good sign. So I'm hoping that we do gel and we'll continue to build. And it's not going to be an overnight process. It's going to take some time, and we just want to try to keep getting better every day.
Okay. Now, you've been coaching for a long time, as you ran through your history. So that also means you've been recruiting for a long time. You recruited me as a player.
Recruited in high school. You can't say that. You can't say I recruited you in high school.
I somehow ended up at St. Anthony my senior year of high school after playing y'all. But
right.
When recruiting a player, especially at this level, Division I level,
right,
what are you looking for in a kid? How can you look at a kid during the game or off the court and say, that's the kid I want to go get and bring him to this program?
Well, obviously there has to be a face or a fundamental or base level of talent, right? You got to have some talent, but for us, and it's the same thing as St. Anthony or anywhere else that I've been, we want to try to bring in good people. We want to try to bring in guys who have high character and integrity, and we spend a lot of time with each other, and it's a long season, it's a long off season, so being around good people is a really, really big piece to the puzzle. So that's something when we have recruiting meetings, we talk about character and talk about vetting kids and knowing their background, and just the things that matter off the court are really important.
Gotcha. And then for you personally, what is your end goal? What is your basketball end goal, and how do you get there?
That's a good question, because I'm in a place now, you know, in my old age where I've never been as an assistant. Well, I've been one, but it was early in my career. And so I'm just trying to go and be where God wants me. I know it sounds cliche or corny, but, you know, I spend time in prayer and just, you know, this thing was God worked this out. I didn't do this. And so I don't want to be anywhere that He doesn't want me to be. So, you know, I'm happy here. I'm learning here. I have a lot to do here. So I haven't thought about the next steps. I'm just trying to make this a successful stop and help be a part of the transition and the success of the program. So if and when God tells me it's time to do something else, then I'll do it.
So for you, when recruiting a kid or when you're trying to bring someone into the program, what would you tell someone that's trying to get to this level as a player?
As a player?
As a player. What would you tell a high school kid right now trying to enter your program? What would you tell him? How would he get here?
Well, the first thing is as academics. It doesn't matter how good you are. If we can't get you in school, then it doesn't matter. And then the second thing is, you know, just try to get to this level. Less than 1% of kids that play high school basketball get Division I scholarships. There's 500,000 kids that play every year. So it's a really, really small percentage of people that have this opportunity. So you have to be special and stand out. And most kids think you have to do it by scoring or shooting the ball. You know, we have some guys who are going to play because they're really good defenders, they're really good rebounders, they're really good athletes, or they play really good hard. And we have some walk-on guys who are getting the same opportunity as the scholarship guys because they're good kids. So just being a good person and trying to be a star in your role. So if you, maybe you're not the greatest scorer, but you're a great rebounder, be a star rebounder or be a star defensive guy, because everybody ain't gonna average 20. You know, somebody got to lead the team in rebounding, somebody got to lead in steals, assists, block shots. Those things are important, you know, as important as scoring.
Now you mentioned how it's such a hard spot to get into as a player, but it's even harder to get into this level as a coach. How would a coach elevate his game and his knowledge? Say you're influencing a high school coach trying to get to the level where you're at. How would you help him elevate his knowledge on the game to get to this level?
I would say just try to build as many relationships as possible. People hire who they're comfortable with. And I'm not saying you got to talk to people every day, but one of the things that I wish I had learned earlier in my career is the power of networking and building relationships. My first probably 10, 15 years, I didn't really spend time as much as I could have cultivating relationships, and that's really, really important for sure.
All right, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you, Coach Houdini, Alan Caveness. Really, I appreciate you coming on. This is actually my first full show, so
I'm the first.
Yeah.
Before we cut off, man, I just want to say I'm extremely proud of you, man. I know what your home life was like and just how much Mom struggled and how much you had to endure to get through 1 year at St. Anthony's and get a college degree. And you know, I'm super proud. And you and those young freshmen, Biggie, Frank, and Juice, and you know, Devaniel and who else, Damani and all those guys.
Carlos, KJ.
You guys started the turnaround to make St. Anthony's where it was. Like, you know, we were just beginning, and you guys started that. So
7-win team to a 20-win team
in 1 year, and I didn't go from a bad coach to a good one. The only difference was the players. So you guys deserve the credit for that. That's dope.
Yeah, without recruiting. We'll say that. Appreciate you, Coach, man. Good luck this year.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.